current day. Tracks and points, but the cars are not. They're from 1998, when the racing was heavy and hard. Everyone had tobacco sponsors, and no one drove high to ride the rail. Back when it was all about raising hell, turning left and praising Dale. Gonna read right where my mind is shining and ready to. The classic Britain style, right to your goodness new. You'll see drivers you remember that you love, and some that you love to hate. See, I'm a found gaming racing series NASCAR Heat 5 in 1998.
All right, back here, NASCAR Heat 5 1998 mod. And we have 2 races to go before the playoffs. And that includes this week. And we are at Richmond. And I thought maybe we had been here earlier in the season, but we have not. This is our first time coming here. 21-129 in practice. And then in qualifying, I did something I've never done before. But we're locked into the chase, so we're throwing some different stuff at it. And I took the car setup and made it as loose as possible, all the way over on the right. It was very, very difficult to steer. I'm not ever going to use that for a race setup, but I ran a couple practice laps like that too. I didn't just jump out there and qualify with it, but my 129 was with this setup I have now, but then the 168 was just all the way loose. So we put her 12th. Terry Labonte blew his engine in practice. I did see that as I was practicing. I don't know what kind of effect that'll have, but yeah, 2 races to go. We're locked in. We're looking to gain just maybe a few more spots, really solidify ourselves, and then we'll have 1 race to go. I will have a big intro on the next video. It's Daytona. It's the last race before the playoffs, and I'll kind of break down what's on the line and how the playoffs are going to work in this video series, because obviously we're playing a little different than real life, but keeping it as close to real life as possible. So, yeah, just hopefully we'll get a good run here today. We've been running decently. 4th, 8th, 7th, and 10th in our last 4. So maybe we can get a win here. Maybe we can get a really good run. That's kind of just what I'm hoping for right now. And we got some guys up front in the top 5, it looks like, who could really use a win. Had to replace the transmission before the race. Johnny Benson is on the pole, folks. And if he won, that would bump him into the playoffs. And Bill Elliott, who had a terrible finish last week at Watkins Glen, backing it up now, having to start at the rear of the field. We'll be on the outside, heading into turn 1. Bobby Labonte on the inside of us. Everybody directly in front of us has qualified for the chase. And guys that we're racing with, of course, Ricky Rudd qualifying last week with his win at Watkins Glen. Yeah, we couldn't have been able to turn like that in the middle there. Mark Martin looking inside. Some guys up here that really need a good run, including Ken Schrader, Mike Skinner. It's almost like the game knew what's on the line here. Ward Burton has driven out in front. Of course, he had the win earlier this season at Darlington. So a Ward Burton win would not really shake much else up. It would give him some extra bonus points heading into the playoffs, which again we'll kind of break down next week in the Daytona pre-race speech. Skinner. pulled out to a pretty significant advantage over Ken Schrader last week for the chase. Neither one of those two guys had real good runs, though. Let's take a look at tire wear. 97s all around. You want to keep the tires off of that inside of the yellow line there. They just send you around, as it happened to us once in practice. See, if we were loose, we'd hit the gas there in the middle of the turn and we'd just spin around. Don't really like the tires locking up as we get into the corners, but the way I have it set right now is I have it to where top 5s, top 10s, and top 20s all give out bonus points, and wins give out more bonus points for every race you win. So when the playoffs start, the more wins you have, the higher up you'll be in the playoff standings. But spoiler alert, the more wins you have, the higher up you are in the regular season point standings. So I don't think we're going to see too many surprises there with who is going to lead the playoff point standings. Dang, Bobby sailed me off in there. Bobby? I don't know. If the caution came out now, I don't know what we do. I'd like to see Ward lap some guys so he wouldn't have to start dead last. Hutch Strickland on the inside there. And Hut getting a little loose underneath me for some reason. And now that's a guy we have to stay in front of, Rusty Wallace. Of course, we're not running real well right now. Got up to 6th, and then I think we're just running it too hard, overdriving the corners. I think we're pretty similar to these guys in front of us. Just need to work on rolling through the corner. Feels like we're kind of plowing pretty bad right in the middle. Dale Earnhardt out in front now. Good corner. I like that half a line up, but it's just not fast coming out of the corner. We still run a 21.5 though, which is not terrible. Oh boy, we just got loose coming out of 2 there. We didn't do that to him. I don't think we can pit here. It's just too much track position that we'd give up. 10 laps to go. Yeah, I think we just I think we keep it out here and see what we can get. That'll scrunch the field back up here. We are not super fast. Woo! I thought we were going around right there, folks. Yeah, we are being so aggressive here on this restart. A lot of contact after this restart. Not super comfortable with that. It's just tough to keep the car on the bottom right now. Tires are so bad. We locked the tires up real rough heading into 3 there. I'd like to get out in front of him. Whew. Don't peek. Don't peek. Yeah, we're going to lose that spot there. Just keep floating up into the corner. Again, just like we did at Watkins Glen last week, we've just gone into crazy defensive mode here. Just trying not to lose any more spots because our car is just not good enough to come up through the field and pass people. Qualified 12th, got up to 5th, finished 7th. That's kind of pretty blasé day, but we'll take it. Yeah, not too shabby. You know, we were fast there, but we'll take a top 10. Like I said, that pays out bonus points, so we'll take that. Let's find out where everybody finished. All right, let's take a look at the Richmond results. Dale Earnhardt comes away with the victory, also led 17 laps, so a bonus point for him, and you'll see just how big that bonus point looms whenever we take a look at the point standings. Ward Burton and Jeff Burton in second. Bobby Labonte, Rusty Wallace, Jeff Gordon, then us, Ricky Rudd. Good finish for Hutch Strickland, and then Mark Martin. Terry Labonte, his 3rd finish in the last 4 races outside of the top 10. So the model of consistency without getting a race won this year was Texas Terry. And again, you'll see how this 11th place finish factors into the point standings. After this one, Ernie Irvin, Michael Waltrip, Rick Bass, Johnny Benson, who started on the pole, finishes 15th. Bill Elliott started near the end of the field, got up to 17th. He was flying. Ken Schrader picking up a bit of points on Skinner, got up to 20th as Skinner fell back to 24th. Dale Jarrett in 22nd, kind of a poor finish for him. Good run for Derek Coate, by the way, usually near the back. Dick Trickle in 30th. And then a bad finish for Bobby Hamilton, but looking at the points, he's pretty well locked in, so even that bad finish isn't going to affect him too much. Jeff Gordon going to be the 1 seed as we head in, unless Jeff Gordon finishes last and Bobby Labonte gets a win somehow, but Gordon going to be the leader most likely after next week. Dale Earnhardt is tied with Terry Labonte, so after 25 races this season, these two are tied in the point standings, which is kind of surreal to think about after all that time. Burton at 715, he's pretty well locked into his spot. Then you get right here, 6th, 7th, and 8th. We fell down to 8th. We were tied with Rusty Wallace, but we are 5 points behind Dale Jarrett, 2 points behind Rusty Wallace. you know, we could be as high as 6th in the points after this week, after this last race of the season, and that would be great. I would rather be, I mean, not to state the obvious, I'd rather be 6th than 8th, just to kind of give ourselves a bit more of a cushion with the bonus points and the point differentials that come in between those spots. So again, we'll go over that at the start of the next video and kind of tell you what to be watching for in that Daytona race, and we'll kind of break it down. But yeah, down here at the chase spot, like I said, Schrader makes up points on Skinner. If someone doesn't race their way in with a race win next week, it's going to come down to those two, and Schrader is now 9 points behind Mike Skinner for the final playoff spot. Again, like we said, Bobby Hamilton kind of in a free fall here. He's down to 15th. Now, Benson would have had a good run. If Benson could have stayed where he was, he'd be right in that conversation too, but instead fell back a bit. So now you can see real quick where your favorite driver is behind my head here. Lake Speed somehow has only managed to get 33 points in 26 races. Make it make sense. On the expanded stats, Dale Earnhardt picks up his 2nd win of the season. That'll put him in the advantage over Terry Labonte, just not in this category. Again, wins are worth more as far as bonus points are concerned, and then you'll see bonus points given out for top 5s, top 10s, and top 20s. So Dale Earnhardt actually setting pretty well right now with 15 top 5s. That's 2nd in the NASCAR standings, right behind Jeff Gordon. So that's pretty good for him, for sure. We're sitting there with 2 wins, 7 top 5s. If we could get a win next week, that'd put us 3rd in terms of wins, which would give us a whole lot of momentum heading into the playoffs. But for this week, like I said, we started 12th, we got up to about 5th, we finished 7th. We just never really did get anything figured out. I don't think we had a top 10 car, but thankfully that good qualifying run that we had with the loose setup kind of put us in a position to where we could stay where we were. I think if we'd have qualified 20th, we would have got up to 12th, fell back to 15th, and probably finished there. So that good qualifying helped us, and yeah, we'll use it. We got 1 race to go before the playoffs. It's Daytona. Should be an exciting one. Hopefully we get a good qualifying session in there and run up front. The last time we ran Daytona was obviously the first race of the season. I did not qualify in the first 2 races, Atlanta or Daytona, thinking this would be a heck of a lot easier than it was. So we'll get a qualifying lap down. We'll put ourselves up there, and we'll see what happens. Remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Just enjoy your YouTube experience. And next week we come back with the final race before the playoffs start. Thanks for watching. This has been Allen Farm Gaming.